Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Wait and See with Celeste Lynch. I'm Celeste Lynch, and let's get started. So, this is a very exciting, kind of special episode because it is my birthday. So, actually, I'm recording this on August 25th. My birthday was yesterday. I was meaning to record before, but I was celebrating, having a good time, doing calculus homework. Yeah. So I didn't get a chance to do that, but I figured I would come back day after and talk to you guys about my birthday, what I think about birthdays. I always sometimes I've tried to make a topic for the episodes, and what ends up happening is I talk about it for 2 minutes and then ramble about something else. So you know what? We're just gonna go with the flow today. But yes, I am now 16 years old. So yes, as I was saying, sweet 16. I don't feel older. I feel like that never really happens on your birthday, maybe like a couple, but there's nothing really new that I can do at this point. I mean, I can't drive yet, and I really haven't gotten a job, so yeah, nothing really new on that front. But I will say that I thought 16 was gonna be so much more fun. Like, it's such a scam, sort of how High School Musical made me think that high school was gonna be so much fun and a big party. I don't know if y'all remember 16 Wishes with Debbie Ryan, Disney Channel original movie. Um, so if you don't know and didn't watch the movie, then basically Debbie Ryan, she plays a girl who's turning 16, and she has this list of her 16 wishes for her 16th birthday. And she gets these candles, and the candles help the wishes come true, so all of her wishes come true. And then stuff goes wrong, but I'm not gonna spoil the movie. It's not a good movie. It's really cheesy, and a very typical Disney Channel original movie. I'm not hating on those, by the way. There's a lot of really good ones. Let It Shine is a personal favorite. Anyway, literally no fun. I don't know why movies make it seem like 16-year-olds are basically adults and have all this fun, because I don't, and pretty much none of my friends do either. So not to say my life is boring. I think my life is pretty fun, but it's not Disney Channel level. Also, when I was younger, when I was watching all of these things, I felt that the actors were actually their age, but they have 25-year-olds play 16-year-olds, which makes really weird expectations for how you're gonna look. Because I remember thinking I was gonna be a grown woman or something, and I'm not at all. So, I mean, I don't want to say that's disappointing, but reality check. Anyway, that sounds like I literally hate my birthday. I had so much fun. So, Saturday, the 22nd, I ended up actually going to someone else's birthday celebration, which was actually super fun. Had a great time. The food was amazing. The music was amazing. It was vibes. And then Sunday, I went to church like I do every single Sunday. And then I went out with some friends to eat IHOP, and we actually hadn't seen each other since March. So that was really fun. Actually, so funny. We were at IHOP for 2 hours with the outdoor dining, and then we headed over to Target, and we found the Target home section, and there was 3 chairs um set up, so we all sat and we had a whole little talk for 2 hours. We were just sitting there, which I mean is probably kind of shady, but we didn't do anything. We just talked. And then when we actually left, we found another group of teenagers doing the exact same thing. But yeah, it was fun. And it was great to see them, to catch up, have, girly talk. That was so cringe. I might take that out. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. And if you came, you know who you are. And thank you so much. And if you're listening to this, tell me, because I want to see if you guys listen to the podcast. So let's see who's a fake friend. Actually, not a lot of people listen to this. But the views have been increasing. I think as I start to produce more episodes, more people are gonna open it, maybe out of curiosity, so we'll see. Definitely was a lot of fun. And then the day of, I went out to breakfast with my parents. We had a nice little breakfast, had a good time, came back to the house and just vibed. And then for dinner, I went out with my boyfriend. I don't know why I always say it like that. It's not that weird. We've been together for a pretty long time. But anyway, went to Cheesecake Factory, which was a lot of fun. And then we had a Cheesecake Factory cake at the house. Cut the cake, had a little celebration with my parents and him. It was a lot of fun, and I got some pretty good gifts. So actually, fun fact, I was recording on my mom's computer for the longest time, like since I started this podcast, because the hard drive on my computer got like corrupted and just like didn't work anymore. And for my birthday, I got a new computer. So it probably won't change any of the quality only because like I'm using the same microphone. But it's very exciting to have my own computer. It's a nice size, to take back and forth from home and school. That was my computer making noises. It's a new computer, so I'm constantly getting like notifications just for like updates and stuff like that. Anyways, don't mind that. It was a lot of fun. So thank you to everyone who wished me happy birthday. You guys are really great. Everyone who celebrated with me, and everyone who made my 15th year of life a lot of fun. Um, I will say that this year was so crazy. I mean, it started off like at the beginning of freshman year, and I had very different friends, very different, like, I don't know, I just was kind of really a different person. And then, with the whole quarantine and just different situations, I feel like I'm very different from back then. Maybe a little more like low energy. I don't know, because sometimes I can be hyper, but it's just different, like, being at home, I think you don't get all of that stimulation that you do at school. Because even just being, like, with a group of friends, I was like, "Whoa," like, I'm not used to, like, being around all this energy. It's not a bad thing 'cause I had so much fun. I keep saying that, but it was actually so much fun, and it was such a good time. My friends actually all got chicken tenders and fries, which, I mean, like, come on, like, I don't know. I'm not the judge. I like chicken tenders, like, as much as the next person. I don't think they're that special, though. I got a chicken fried steak with gravy on top and then pancakes, eggs, scrambled eggs with hot sauce, and hash browns, and it was amazing. I actually didn't even eat the pancakes, like, while I was there, I took them home. It was because the portions are, like, huge, and the portions at Cheesecake Factory are also giant. I mean, I finished it, but I was eating so slow. I think the waitress came, like, 3 times to ask if I was still eating it, and I was like, "Yes, yes, I am." You know? Actually, eating slow is really, like, good for you. If you eat too fast, you, like, eat too much and you get a lot of gas, and then, I don't know, you just get indigestion, and that's not fun. Um, yeah, don't get indigestion. So, I'm 16 now. That's basically all of that. What else have I been doing? I mean, honestly, just, like, chilling, eating, working on summer homework. I have so much summer homework, and the thing that's really annoying is that my school year got pushed back till September 14th. So, but none of my deadlines for summer work have, which is really annoying. So I still have to do work as if I'm going into school like in 5 days, and I'm not. I have a really big project that's due that I have not finished. Barely started, but you know what? It's fine. And yeah, I have a lot of calculus homework that I always end up doing at the last minute because we have to turn it in weekly. I mean, it's okay, I guess, because it's not that many problems a week, but they're very difficult. I still don't know how to do a lot of them just because, like, you have to learn a lot of the things on your own, and it's kinda difficult, especially, like, once you get to calculus, derivatives, like, I had to do something with derivatives, and I still don't know how it works. So, I feel like that might not be a good omen, but I'm not going to rule out, like, doing well, because, like, law of attraction, you have to, like, manifest that you're going to do well, that way that you do. Um, so yeah, guys, like, it's gonna be great. AP US History, I have a project and reading, and then the only person who pushed back my deadlines was my English teacher, which, I mean, what a G, because I actually was already kind of ahead. So but I'm starting to fall a little bit behind. I mean, it's due on the first day of school, and it's a book, which I can definitely finish and do the questions for. But I was, like, reading it. I'm probably, like, halfway through, and I just stopped reading it for, like, 2 weeks. But, like, whatever. I like to read, fun fact. So, it's okay. It's actually a really good book. It's called Nickel and Dimed, and it's a study, not really a study, it's a extension of an article that this woman did where she worked minimum wage jobs, and she had to go find, like, living on her own and different expenses and see, like, what it is to actually work. Not necessarily minimum wage, but just, like, quote, low skill jobs. So, like, cleaning, being a waitress, all of that. And, people get treated really badly. I mean, it's older, so I would hope that people get treated better now, but who really knows? I'm hoping with some birthday money to revamp my room. I think I talked about this in the last episode. Why is it so hard to find plants that aren't overpriced, like fake plants? Because it's insane. Like, I was trying to find a fake plant, like a really big one, and it was like $50 or something. So if you know where to get like cheap fake plants that are like pretty, let me know. Because I want to do that thing where it's like really aesthetic and you like hang plants off your ceiling and then you have plants and like those hanging vines I think would be so cool. Plus, I live in an apartment, so I can't make holes in the walls, so I have to get command hooks for that. But that wouldn't be bad, especially now because people are moving into college. Which, by the way, how does that even work? Like, because I think a lot, I don't know about like any of the local schools really, but I think they're doing like mix of online and in person. And it's like, what if you have all online? Like, what are you doing living in a dorm? I mean, I get it, but it's just weird and like, I don't know. And living with a roommate while that you don't know, like, you don't know what their sort of views are on like COVID and stuff like that. I don't know. I think to each his own, but it's definitely interesting. I'm interested to see how school is for me because I'm doing hybrid. So it's going to be strange just to see how they set up desks and if I can actually socialize with people and if it's safe. I know you know that picture of the in Georgia and they were like not wearing masks and like they were all crowded. I mean, I think that the students in my school would comply, and also my school's actually being renovated, so I hope the hallways are bigger. I mean, half of the kids are going to be in there at a time, plus people have the option of doing all online, which I actually know some people who are doing that. And I mean, personally, I don't think I could do it, but I'm going to be doing online 3 times a week, so who knows. But I'm definitely going to be glad to be back in the classroom with other people. Because of Google Classroom, I can sort of see who's in some of my classes just because of the classes that have summer work, and I have some pretty good people, especially in my sort of alphabet group. So I'm excited to have classes with friends and people who I want to be friends with. Oh my gosh, do you guys know what a friend crush is? So it's like when you want to be someone's friend, like you think they're really cool and you would want to be their friend. There's like people in my classes I've had friend crushes on for like a while, and like I don't know. I hope I can make new friends this year. I hope. I have some pretty good friends now, so but it would be nice to like meet new people and learn more things because I feel like the more people that you meet, even if you're not necessarily like besties or like hang out or anything, you just learn a lot because everyone has such different like experiences and interests. That's a really hard word to say. That yeah, it just makes things more interesting and more fun, and learning new things, learning about music, culture, everything. My school isn't very diverse. I think it's like 90% white, but it is always fun to like learn about other people's traditions and cultures and just like what their families do. Everyone is so different. Even people who are like from the same place, there's so much variation, which is very interesting. So I'm very interested in that. Honestly, the amount of times I've said interesting is really scary. So I'm gonna stop saying that. Anyways, I think I'm gonna make some goals for this 16th year of my life. My first goal is to finish my summer homework. That's like a short-term goal. Second goal is to get a job. Next goal I think is to just work on being more open-minded and social, work on my time management, and just keep my grades up. Those are basically always my goals, and I think I've improved, but I'm not where I want to be in terms of that, especially with just like online school. It's really hard for me to keep that accountability without the outside source. I've always thought that I was a pretty self-motivated person, and I guess I'm not because it's just been a struggle, especially during online school. Like, I would never show up to Zooms, I would turn in my stuff late, and they were very lenient, but this year they're not going to be. It's gonna be so strange to just make myself wake up at 6 in the morning so that I can be, fully alert and ready for my Zooms at like 7. So we'll see. I I think I'm more interested in seeing how it is online this year compared to last year, just because last year everything was like thrown together. The situation was very fluid, and the situation still is fluid, but I think we have more of an idea of how we want to go about things. So I wanted to transition into another part of this episode that I was planning, which I made a list of 16 things that I have learned at the age of 16. And it's kind of corny, but I actually got the idea from some old Ava Jules videos, and I thought it was really cool. I don't think I'm going to go into all 16, but I will put in some of the ones that I think are really important. So let's get started with that. So I think actually one of the most important things I learned this year, and I think all of us learned this year, was to enjoy things while they last. So I think this whole lockdown made us realize the things that we really, really enjoy and just took for granted. I think for me, one of those things was school and my friends, because I was so used to seeing them every day, going to school every day, having fun, and I would always like complain about it, but really in school I was actually having a lot of fun. And I think also just being able to go out and do things like just go to Target or, go to the mall or get some food. I don't think we realized how lucky we were to have all of those parts of normal life until this all happened. And I think a lot of people have said they've learned that this year, and it's definitely sort of a very important lesson that I learned this year. Another thing that I sort of learned was you're capable of more than you think. I think a lot of people, especially girls, like to limit their, like, underestimate themselves and maybe not try things that might be out of their comfort zone and feel a failure. And I definitely like tried to step out of my comfort zone this year, and I ended up doing a lot of things that I really enjoyed, and stepping out of my comfort zone and doing things that I thought maybe I couldn't do, and I did do them, and I was successful. So that was definitely something that I took away from this year. Another thing that I learned was to reach out to people. So to have friends, you also need to be a friend, and that's something I learned this year, especially with the lockdown. Not being able to see everyone, and I'd get kind of like maybe angry or sad that like, oh, no one is texting me, which I mean, I'm not a big texter anyway, but I think just learning that, it's okay to reach out to people too. People don't always have to reach out to you, and it can actually make someone's day to just be like, hey, how are you? Even if you don't talk to them all the time, I think that's really important to just see how people are, and you can always like learn something new from them. Another thing that I learned, I have a little like notebook, and I wrote them down, is to take pictures. This one is kind of shallow, I think, but it's just like something I've realized is pictures are always really cool to look back on. Especially I was looking back on pictures from like earlier this year and last year, my last birthday, and it was so cool to see like and trigger those memories again and to just remember the really good times. Another thing is doing things for others is actually really rewarding. I I think this year I've tried a little more intentionally to be nice to people and offer to do things for people, and it's actually really rewarding and it makes you feel good. And I think I fell into being very like closed off for a while, I think the past couple years, and so this year I really started to like open back up again, and it's been really great to just see like how much happier it can make you to like serve others and to like be around others. And obviously not to be like a people pleaser or let people like walk all over you, but I think it is important to just be open and to be helpful, which also falls into trying new things. A lot of these basically fall into the categories of just not being afraid of being yourself, which sounds really corny, but it's true. I fell into a lot of, again, just like being very closed off and thinking that that was cool to be like stoic or anything. Then I realized that like that can actually make you very lonely, and it's important to just reach out and try to be a little bit more approachable and nice, and you can actually find out that you can make a lot of friends that way. And obviously life isn't just about making friends, because it's good to have a few real friends better than to have like a ton of just like acquaintances. But I think just being nice to people and being open, you can actually learn a lot and you get a lot more opportunities. So I made a list of 16, but I think I'm gonna call it there. Thank you for listening to this episode. I really appreciate, again, all of your birthday gifts and wishes. And thank you for listening to the podcast, for supporting. I hope that 16 will be the year where I get consistent with uploading. But yeah, thank you for supporting the podcast. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Instagram at Wait and See Podcast. Leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. I looked and we have 1 rating of 5 stars. So go leave a rating of 5 stars. Or 4 if you want. 5. 5 stars. If you don't like it, don't leave a rating. And other than that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for listening and have a great day. Bye.